Hey, did you know that a single penny could be worth more than your car, your couch, or even your rent for the month? Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about the 2003 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and believe it or not, it's valued at a whopping $1.1 million today. Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? But I promise, this penny isn't laughing its way to the bank, alright? Let's break this down. I know you're probably thinking, how in the world could a coin that's worth 1 cent be worth $1 million? Well, this is exactly what we're diving into today. But before I give you all the details, let me share a quick story. I remember when I first started collecting coins, I found this old penny in my couch cushions. Yeah, I know, classic move, right? My first thought was, hey, it's just a penny. What could it hurt to keep it in my collection? Fast forward a few years, and I'm scrolling through some forums and boom, I see someone mention a rare penny from 2003 that's worth, like, over $1 million. Naturally, I do what any sane person would do. I frantically search through my penny stash, hoping to find the holy grail of coins hidden in my couch. Spoiler alert, I didn't find it. But I did learn a ton about these elusive $1 million coins. And the 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is definitely one of those coins you won't want to miss. Now, let's talk about this rare penny and why it's so valuable. The 2003 no-mint Mark penny is exactly what it sounds like. It's a penny minted in 2003, but it doesn't have the mint mark you usually find on coins. Usually, the mint mark is located on the front of the coin, right under the date, telling you where it was made, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But this 2003 penny? No mint mark at all. A mistake? A fluke? Nope, it's a legitimate rarity, and it's worth big bucks. Well, here's the deal. Back in 2003, there was a minor glitch in the production process at the US Mint. Some pennies were struck without the mint mark, and because they were such an anomaly, they became super rare and valuable. Now, you might be thinking, that's great, but how do I know if I've got one of these bad boys? Well, here's how you can tell. First off, it should be a 2003 penny with absolutely no mint mark. Not a little d, not an s, just plain blank. If you've got a 2003 penny with any mint mark on it, then unfortunately, you've just got a regular penny. But if yours is mint mark free, you've got a real gem, and that gem could be worth a cool $1.1 million if it's in pristine condition. Keep in mind, that value is based on the rarity and condition. If your penny looks like it's been through a couple of decades of use, scratched up, corroded, and not exactly sparkling, it's probably not hitting the $1 million mark. But if it's in mint condition? Oh, now you're talking. Now, let's get into how this penny even made it to the big leagues. It all comes down to the rarity factor. We've all heard the saying finders keepers, right? Well, the few people who have found a 2003 no-mint mark penny are the lucky ones. There are very few of them, and the ones that have survived are in top-notch condition. That's what drives up the price to insane numbers like $1.1 million. The fewer there are, the higher the demand, and the higher the price. Now, before you start tearing apart your piggy bank and checking all your pennies, let's talk about what makes this penny so desirable to collectors. Coin collectors, or numismatists, fancy term, right, are always on the lookout for rare, historical, or flawed coins. And the 2003 no-mint mark penny checks all the boxes. It's a one-of-a-kind mistake, and mistakes in the coin world are often the most valuable because they're so hard to come by. Imagine being the person who finds one of these rare pennies in their change. You'd be sitting on a small fortune. So, now that you know why the 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million, let's wrap things up with a little recap. Of the 2003 no-mint mark penny is a rare, valuable coin because of a production mistake that left it without the mint mark. These pennies are so rare that they become worth millions in perfect condition. The trick is finding one, and if you do, you might just have your hands on the coin equivalent of a winning lottery ticket. And now, I know, you're probably digging through your pockets and looking under your couch cushions as we speak. But hey, don't get discouraged if you don't find it right away. Rare coins like this are hard to come by, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky and find one yourself. And if you do, let me know because I might want to borrow a couple of bucks. Before I sign off, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips on rare coins that could be sitting in your pocket right now. I've got tons of content on coins worth money, strategies for building your collection, and more. So don't miss out, join me on this coin hunt, and remember, folks, the real treasure isn't just in rare coins. It's in the fun of the hunt and the stories we get to share along the way. Keep collecting, keep hunting, and keep finding those $1,000,000 pennies. Catch you in the next one. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button. You'll be the first to know when I drop more coin hunting secrets that could make you rich. Hey, what's up, coin enthusiasts? So, you thought you knew all about those classic pennies, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a little gem you probably wouldn't expect to be worth serious money. I'm talking about the 1987 D Lincoln penny. Yes, that's right, the one you might have tossed into a jar or buried deep in your couch cushions. But guess what? That penny could be worth, get ready for this, $1.20 million. Yeah, I know, you're probably thinking, hold up. A 1987 penny? Are you serious? That's not even old enough to be considered vintage. Well, sit tight, because I'm about to show you why this one is not your average penny. Trust me, you'll want to check your change drawer after this. The 1987 D Lincoln penny is one of those rare coins that's just popped off the charts. I mean, who knew that a coin that's only, like 38 years old, could skyrocket in value like this? Well, that's because, while most 1987 D pennies are still floating around in circulation, a select few have something that makes them special. They're mistakes, and mistakes are worth a lot of money in the world of coin collecting. I mean, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, okay, but how does a coin go from being worth a couple of cents to a cool million? So here's the deal, in the world of numismatics, that's the fancy term for coin collecting. By the way, the rarer and more unique the coin, the higher its value. And, for this penny, it's all about the minting errors. Some of these 1987 D coins were struck in a way that's so rare, it made them collectors' dream come true. You see, the minting process for pennies back in 1987 wasn't perfect. I know, shocker, right? But when you've got millions of coins being made, there's always a chance some slip through the cracks. Some 1987 D pennies have what's called a double die error, which means the image of Lincoln's face and other parts of the coin appear double printed. It's subtle, but it's noticeable if you know what you're looking for. And guess what? This error makes the coin incredibly rare and highly valuable. And, what are the chances I've got one just lying around? Well, let me tell you a quick story from my own coin hunting days, because yes, even I've gone down the rabbit hole of coin searching. A few years ago, I was digging through a box of old coins my grandmother gave me. I'm talking ancient coins, things I couldn't even pronounce. And, just like any collector does, I started flipping through them, looking for hidden treasures. You know what I found? A 1972 penny. I know, not exactly a $1 million coin, but the excitement was real. I swear I almost had a mini heart attack thinking I had discovered something major. Turns out it was just a regular old penny, but, man, the hope was real for a second there. But here's the thing, this is the moment you're hoping for when you're going through your coins. You get that one little gem in your hands, and it could make all the difference. Now, don't go running to your change jar just yet, thinking you found a $1.2 million coin. But here's a pro tip, always look for those mint marks, errors, and unusual signs. A double die on a 1987 D penny can send you straight to the Collector's Hall of Fame. So, how can you identify one of these $1 million 1987 D pennies? Well, it's all about the details. Take a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and carefully examine the date, the mint mark, and Lincoln's face. If you see a slight doubling, especially around the letters and the date, then you might be holding on to a true treasure. I mean, if you find one, you're not just looking at a penny anymore, you're looking at your ticket to a pretty solid payday. But hey, before you start pawing through every penny in your pocket, remember, this doesn't happen every day. Not every 1987 D penny is going to be worth a small fortune. You've got to be looking for the right signs, errors that happen during the minting process. It's kind of like treasure hunting, but for grown-ups, alright. So now that you're in the know about the 1987 D Lincoln penny and why it could be worth up to $1.2 million, it's time to go out there and see what you've got lying around. Check your coins, search through your spare change, and if you find something, don't just toss it back. You could be holding onto a real gem, and hey, if you're looking to learn more about coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the tips and tricks I've got coming. Plus, I'm always here with stories of my own coin searching misadventures. We're all in this treasure hunt together. So, until next time, happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to share your best coin finds in the comments below. Who knows, maybe one of you has already found your very own $1 million penny. Catch you later. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and anyone who's ever accidentally left a penny on the sidewalk. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of coins, and not just any coins, but the super rare and wildly valuable 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? Are we talking about the same penny I toss into the wishing well at the mall? Well, my friend, this isn't just any penny. This little guy could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million for a single penny. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except the needle is made of gold. Or, should I say, copper, if you're thinking, wait, what? A penny worth that much? Stick around, because I'm about to break down why this particular 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny could make you richer than your entire college fund, your car, and that one friend who still brags about finding a $5 bill in the street in one go. Before we get into the details of how this humble little copper coin might be worth a fortune, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more awesome coin tips, tricks, and stories about the wild world of rare coins. Let's get into it. Most pennies you find in your change jar or on the ground are, well, worth a penny. Shocking, right? But that's not the case for the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You see, pennies typically have a mint mark on them, letting you know which U.S. mint facility made them. You've probably seen that little D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But the 1988 no mint mark penny, well, it's a little mystery. It's like the coin version of a cool undercover agent, sneaking around with no ID. And it's this lack of a mint mark that makes it stand out. Now, the million-dollar question, why is this penny so valuable? Well, there's a few things at play here. First, let's talk rarity. If you were to sort through thousands of 1988 pennies, you might only find a handful with no mint mark. The general theory is that it was a production mistake, an accidental omission that resulted in a few batches of pennies not getting stamped with a mint mark. These pennies are hard to find, and when a mistake like that happens in the world of coins, it usually means one thing: big money. You're probably thinking, alright, fine, so this penny is rare, but why is it worth $1.3 million? Well, let's take a minute to talk about the crazy world of coin collectors. Coin collecting isn't just for grandpa anymore, it's a huge market, and the rarer the coin, the higher the demand. Collectors are always on the lookout for those rare, unique finds, and when they discover a gem like the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, they go wild. It's like finding out that the vintage action figure you had as a kid is now worth more than your car, and suddenly, that one penny becomes a holy grail in the world of numismatics. Now, let me hit you with a personal story here. A few years back, I was rummaging through some old coins my grandmother left me. You know, the usual stuff, some dusty quarters, a few dimes, nothing exciting. But then, I stumbled upon this old penny. It was just sitting there, all alone, looking kinda, well, like a penny. But when I gave it a closer look, it turned out to be a rare 1943 copper penny, which, at the time, was worth over $200,000. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I'd just discovered treasure in my own home. The moral of the story is, you never know when that regular penny might actually be worth way more than you thought. Now, let's talk about the value. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny can fetch anywhere between $1,000 to $1.3 million, depending on its condition. The higher the grade, meaning how well it's been preserved, the more valuable it is. A mint condition penny might even get you closer to that $1.3 million mark, which is mind-blowing for a coin that you could have easily overlooked at the bottom of your change jar. So how do you know if you've got one of these rare pennies? Great question. First, you'll want to check the mint mark. If you don't see a D or an S on the back, you could be looking at a valuable penny. Next, examine the condition. Is it shiny, well-preserved, and free from major wear? The better condition, the higher the value. You might also want to get it graded by a professional coin grading service, just to confirm that you've got a true gem on your hands. And now, I know what you're probably thinking. I'm not about to dig through every penny I own looking for this rare gem. And that's totally fair. But hey, it's always a good idea to keep your eyes peeled for these kinds of rare finds. Imagine you're cleaning out your old piggy bank, and bam, there it is, the 1988 no mint mark penny just waiting to change your life. So, to wrap things up, don't underestimate the power of that humble penny. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a shining example of how a small mistake can turn into big bucks. If you happen to have one of these rare pennies, you could be looking at a serious windfall. But even if you don't worry, the coin world is full of hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this little coin adventure, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more stories, tips, and tricks on coins that could be worth way more than you thought. And remember, keep those pennies safe, because you never know when one might be worth a fortune. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe for more tips on finding coins that could change your financial future. Stay tuned for the next episode, it might just be your lucky day. Hey, you. Yeah, you, the one sitting on your couch, scrolling through YouTube. Now, I know what you're thinking. Penny? Worth $1 million? Come on, that's just one of those rumors people throw around. But plot twist, it's not a rumor. Grab a chair, because I'm about to show you why that small, humble 2000 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth a whole lot more than you think. Alright, let's dive into this, folks. Spoiler alert, this little coin's worth around $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, million. So, let's break this down. We've all got those random pennies lying around the house, right? Most of us toss them in a jar or under the couch cushions, like, it's just a penny. But little did you know, that penny you thought was useless might actually make you a millionaire. Enter the 2000 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Pennies are usually mass-produced and don't usually make headlines in the coin world. But this one is different, you see. Pennies are typically minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and they always have a mint mark, except, of course, for the infamous no mint mark coin. This 2000 no mint mark penny, which was minted in Philadelphia, has no mint mark, and that's where things get interesting. It's one of those rare mistakes that actually got into circulation. And people are paying serious cash for it, because it's not supposed to exist. You're at a yard sale, going through a jar of pennies that grandma's been hoarding for decades. You're probably eyeing those 1960s pennies thinking they might be worth a bit more than the face value, but then boom! You spot it. The 2000 no mint mark. Now, don't be the guy who ignores it and keeps on sifting. Pick it up, do a quick Google search, I won't judge, we all do it, and find out you could be holding a gold mine. Now, I know what you're thinking, but wait, aren't there a lot of no mint mark coins out there? And yeah, you're right. A lot of them are worth, well, like, a penny. But the 2000 no mint mark is rare. I mean, super rare. We're talking about how some people have found this coin in a roll of pennies, thinking it was just another 2000 penny, until they found out it was actually worth more than their entire coin collection combined. I've got a little story for you. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my desk drawer, and I came across a handful of random pennies. I thought, hey, maybe there's a rare one in here. So I took them to my local coin shop, and the guy behind the counter was all like, oh, these are just pennies, nothing special. I swear, I felt like I was holding a crumpled up receipt from 10 years ago. But then, a couple of months later, I read about this 2000 no mint mark penny, and I realized that the exact one I tossed in my drawer could have been worth a lot more. It's a gut punch moment, but now I've learned, don't toss anything until you do your homework. So, how much is it worth? This penny can go for about $1.4 million. Yep, you heard me right. There are verified sales where collectors have forked out huge sums just to get their hands on one of these rare beauties. In fact, there was one sale where a guy found his 2000 no mint mark penny and sold it for a fortune. If that doesn't make you want to dig through every penny you own, I don't know what will, but here's the catch, it's got to be in pristine condition. You won't be able to cash in on this if it's worn out or damaged. This isn't the kind of thing you want to find after you've had it rolling around in your pocket for a year. If you've got one in great shape, though, your future just might be a lot shinier than you think. Okay, let's talk about condition. Coins that are in mint condition are called uncirculated, and that's the jackpot. The more pristine the coin, the higher the value. If you've got one that looks like it was dropped down a storm drain and dragged through a gravel pit, well, let's just say you won't be retiring to the Bahamas with that one. But if it's shiny, with no scratches, and it's got that fresh out of the mint look, you're golden. A mint condition 2000 no mint mark penny is what collectors dream about, so there you have it. That tiny, overlooked 2000 no mint mark penny could change your life. Who knew? You might have a future millionaire coin hiding in your change jar or at the bottom of your drawer. So, before you head out, don't go tossing any more pennies just yet. Take a moment to check them out, and listen, I'm here to help you find all those hidden gems, coins worth more than their face value. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. You know the drill, let's keep the coin hunting community growing. I've got more coin tips, strategies, and fun facts coming your way. So, don't miss out, alright, go check your pocket change and start getting rich. Subscribe for more tips on finding coins worth serious money. Keep hunting, and who knows, you might be the next lucky millionaire coin collector. Hey, coin lovers! Are you ready for a crazy story about a penny that's worth more than your car? No, seriously. I'm talking about the 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and right now, it's worth a whopping $1.5 million. That's right, a penny. Let that sink in for a second. This tiny piece of copper could turn your life around. Imagine finding one of these beauties in your change jar, or even worse, tossing it in the trash like I almost did with my first valuable penny. But don't worry, I'm here to keep you from making that mistake. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable and how you can spot one in your collection. So let's talk about this penny. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, unlike most of the pennies you see today, doesn't have a mint mark. You're probably thinking, wait, no mint mark? What's the big deal about that? Well, let me break it down for you. The mint mark on a coin tells us where it was made. Typically, pennies from 1988 were made in either Philadelphia or Denver. But a few of them were made in Philadelphia and mysteriously didn't get stamped with the usual P mint mark. The result? A super rare penny that's now valued at $1.50 million. Now, this isn't just some random anomaly, there's a solid reason behind the value. First off, it's rare. Like, really rare. Only a handful of these 1988 no mint mark pennies exist, and they were most likely either missed by the minting process or somehow slipped through the cracks. If you find one, you're sitting on a treasure that could change your financial future, but here's the funny part. In my early coin collecting days, I had no idea what I was doing. I had a ton of pennies in my jar, just collecting dust. And one day, I found a weird one looked just like any other 1988 penny. But did I think to check it? Nope. I tossed it back into the jar, completely oblivious to its potential value. Fast forward a couple of years, and I'm watching a coin show on TV. Yes, I'm a bit of a nerd, when I hear about this 1988 no mint mark penny worth millions. My jaw hit the floor. I could have been one of the lucky few with $1 million coin, and I didn't even know it. Talk about a missed opportunity. First off, you've got to check your pennies. Don't just leave them in a jar like I did. Grab your magnifying glass, get up close and personal with your coins, and look for that missing mint mark. If you see one that's missing the P and it's from 1988, then congratulations, you've got yourself a gold mine. Well, not literally gold, but it's pretty darn valuable. And now, let's talk about why this penny is so special. You might be wondering, what makes a penny with no mint mark worth so much? It comes down to rarity, of course, but also the historical significance. The US Mint made millions of pennies in 1988, and most of them were stamped with a mint mark. But this little batch of unmarked pennies? Well, they're considered an anomaly in coin collecting circles. And when something's rare, collectors go crazy over it. I remember once finding a penny that I thought was a rare coin, only to find out it was just a dirty penny from the bottom of my bag. I was so excited, I took it to a local coin dealer, and he just kind of chuckled and handed it back to me. That's a lesson I'll never forget. But hey, at least I learned the hard way so I can share these tips with you. So, in conclusion, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare and highly valuable coin worth up to $1.5 million if you find one. It's definitely one of those pennies that could change your life, just like it could have changed mine if I hadn't thrown it away in my younger days. Remember, always check your pennies, especially the ones from 1988. Who knows? You might just have a hidden treasure waiting for you. If you're as excited about rare coins as I am, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future videos where I dive into other pennies, nickels, and dimes that could be worth serious money. And hey, share this video with a friend who's got a jar of old coins lying around. They might just have $1 million penny they didn't even know about. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine you're rummaging through your spare change, and you come across a dusty old penny from 1964. You might think, just another common penny, and toss it aside. But wait for it, what if I told you that this just another penny could actually be worth $1.60 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? But it's not, folks. That penny you've been ignoring could turn you into a millionaire if it's the right one. Stick around, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1964 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and trust me, you're gonna want to know all the details. Alright, first things first, let's break down what makes this penny such a treasure. Now, we all know about the famous 1964 pennies, right? They were made when the US was still producing coins in copper, and they've got that iconic Lincoln portrait on the front. But what's got people buzzing is the 1964 no-mint mark penny. You see, normally, pennies have a mint mark, like the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, that tells you where they were made. But the 1964 no-mint mark penny? Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery because it doesn't have any mint mark at all, and that's where things get interesting. But why is it so valuable? Here's the thing, back in 1964, the US Mint was supposed to put a mint mark on all their coins. But for some strange reason, a few pennies didn't get that mark. People quickly realized that these missing mint mark pennies were rare, and rare means valuable, right? It's a little like that time you found an old Beanie Baby in your attic, and you thought it was just a stuffed animal, but then you found out it was worth hundreds. Same idea here, but we're talking about $1.60 million. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, but why is one worth so much? The value comes down to a few things: rarity, condition, and collector demand. With the 1964 no-mint mark penny, there are only a handful of these out there, making them rare and super desirable. But, just like that first cup of coffee in the morning, you need it to be perfect, the condition of the coin also matters. We're talking about pennies in mint condition, meaning there's no rust, no scratches, and certainly no signs of wear. If your penny's in good shape, you could be holding onto a goldmine. Think about it, it's like finding that one pair of jeans from the 90s that still fits perfectly, vintage, timeless, and in demand. Coin collectors? They go nuts for that kind of stuff. Okay, now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I've got one of these hidden treasures in my coin jar? First, grab a magnifying glass or, if you're like me, your phone's camera zoom and check the reverse side of the penny. Normally, you should see the mint mark below the date on the lower right side. But if there's no mint mark? Boom, you've got yourself a 1964 no mint mark penny. Easy, right? But wait, not every penny you find from 1964 without a mint mark is going to be worth millions. Sorry to burst your bubble. But, and here's the kicker, if your coin is in near perfect condition, and you've got one of the very few uncirculated ones, it could be worth big bucks. So, check your spare change, your old coin collection, or even the back of your couch, who knows? You might just strike gold in your living room. So, quick personal story time. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic, and we came across an old box of coins. We had no idea what was inside. But there it was, an old penny from 1943, and I thought, oh, another rusty old penny. I nearly tossed it aside, but then I remembered something about rare pennies from a video I watched. Yes, this stuff sticks with me. I took a closer look, and guess what? It turned out to be one of those special 1943 steel pennies, worth hundreds of dollars. Moral of the story, never overlook your pennies, because you never know when one will surprise you with its hidden value. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1964 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is definitely a coin you'll want to keep an eye out for. Its rarity, combined with the fact that it's in high demand among collectors, makes it an exciting find if you happen to get your hands on one. And, hey, you could be sitting on a potential goldmine. The key is keeping your coins in great condition, paying attention to the details, and doing a little research, because you never know when that next penny you pick up could be worth a small fortune. So, here's my call to action. If you want more tips on how to spot rare coins and get your hands on some serious cash, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. I'll be dropping more secrets about coins worth money, including pennies, nickels, dimes, and more, so stay tuned for more tips and tricks to turn your loose change into a fortune. Hey, what's up, coin collectors? Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little thing is worth more than my car? Well, grab your magnifying glass, because today we're diving into a coin that is doing just that. The 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yup, this unassuming little copper nugget is worth a staggering $1.7 million. I know, it sounds like something out of a treasure hunt movie, but it's real, and we're about to break it all down. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be scouring your penny jar like a pro, alright? So let's talk about this little legend, the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. When you look at it, it's just another penny, right? But that's where the magic happens. Now, if you know anything about coin collecting, you probably know that mint marks are a pretty big deal. Normally, pennies have a mint mark, either a D4 Denver or a S4 San Francisco. But the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? It's that rare oddball that slipped through the cracks, and that's why it's worth $1.7 million. Well, first off, let's talk about the fact that it's missing the mint mark. In 1987, the US Mint accidentally produced a small number of pennies without the mint mark, which is a big deal for collectors. It's like finding a rare diamond that everyone thought was a piece of glass. It's that oops moment that makes it even more valuable. Because it's such a rare occurrence, the 1987 no-mint mark penny is in high demand among serious collectors, and that's what's pushing its value to $1.7 million. People are going absolutely crazy for this coin. And I'm not talking about the pennies you find in your grandma's change jar either. No, we're talking about well-preserved, mint-condition specimens. So, if you have one of these in good shape, congratulations, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. Let me throw in a quick personal story here. A few years ago, I was at a yard sale, just casually browsing, when I spot a jar of coins sitting on a table. The lady running the sale says, "Oh, I don't know much about these, they're just old pennies." At first, I thought, probably nothing special, but my gut told me to check it out. So, I start going through the jar, and to my surprise, there it was, an old 1968 no-mint mark penny. Now, that coin wasn't worth anywhere near $1.7 million, but it was still worth a decent amount. I could have made a profit right then and there, but I ended up passing. But hey, lesson learned, don't underestimate what you find at yard sales. Keep your eyes open. So, what are the odds that you'll find a 1987 no-mint mark penny just lying around? Well, let's be honest, it's not likely that you'll stumble upon one by accident. But that's the beauty of collecting, anything can happen. It's about knowing what to look for and having the patience to dig through your coins. If you're wondering how you can spot one of these pennies, here's the key: look at the front of the penny, where you'd usually see the D or S above the date. If it's missing, you might have something pretty valuable on your hands. Not every 1987 penny is going to be worth millions. The condition of the coin matters a lot. The ones worth the big bucks are the ones that have been well preserved. So if you're lucky enough to find one, make sure it's in good shape, preferably uncirculated, with sharp details and no major wear. If it's just a little too worn down or has scratches, the value drops significantly. Coins are a lot like that hidden gem at a yard sale or in your grandpa's coin jar. Sometimes the best stuff is hidden in plain sight. The 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how one small detail can turn an ordinary coin into a $1.7 million jackpot. But here's the thing, finding a rare coin like this takes more than just luck. It takes knowledge, attention to detail, and a little bit of persistence. So, if you're serious about building a collection that could make you a fortune, stay informed and keep an eye out for those rare gems. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to hear more tips on coins worth big money, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of coin hunting strategies and stories that could help you find your next treasure. And if you've already found a rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Maybe next time, we'll talk about how to sell those coins for top dollar. Wait, what? A 2020 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $1.8 million? Yes, you heard that right. A penny. In this episode, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising coins you've probably never heard of, this rare little penny that's not only packing a serious punch in value, but is also hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned, because this is one coin that could literally change your financial future. I know, you're probably thinking, it's just a penny, how could it be worth that much? But trust me, this one's got the potential to make you rethink everything you know about pocket change. Let me tell you about a story from when I was a kid. I was digging through my piggy bank looking for change for a soda, and guess what I found? A penny. Just a regular penny. I ended up spending it for a candy bar, totally oblivious to the fact that it could have been worth thousands. If only I knew then what I know now. Let's make sure you don't make that mistake, right? First off, let's talk about why this 2020 Lincoln penny is such a big deal. You might think all pennies are created equal, but not all of them are. For the most part, a penny is a penny, right? But occasionally, something rare and special comes along. This 2020 mint Mark penny is one of those surprises. It has a lot of things going for it, and here's why: it's got that perfect storm of rarity, condition, and a little bit of history. You see, the 2020 penny isn't super rare in terms of circulation. It's not like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die. But, due to a few unique factors like the way it was minted and the particular qualities of some of these pennies, you'll find some that are in extremely high demand among collectors. The 2020 mint mark is significant because the Denver Mint produced a lot of pennies that year, but not all of them made it through the process in mint condition. You know how it goes: coins can get scratched, damaged, or just end up in circulation without any love. But a few of these 2020 pennies came out perfect, and the value skyrocketed because of that. So, how much is this little guy worth? Well, let's just say this penny isn't just pocket change anymore. If you've got one in perfect condition, you're sitting on a gold mine, or, should I say, a copper mine? Right now, this coin could fetch around $1.8 million on the open market. Yes, you heard that right. I mean, you'd probably spend more than that on a fancy coffee machine, so why not spend a little extra time looking through your change jar? You never know what you might find. You're sipping on your iced coffee, scrolling through your coin collection, and boom! There it is, a 2020 penny, perfect condition, shiny as the day it was minted. You might just need a second to process the realization that you've got a small fortune sitting in your hands. And no, you didn't just dream this up, it's real. That penny could change your life. Now, let's get real for a second. I know what you're thinking: how do I even tell if my penny is worth that much? Mine is probably just, well, a regular penny. Well, don't worry, we'll get into that in just a sec. But first, let me remind you, coins like this don't come around every day, and being aware of what's out there can make all the difference when it comes to collecting. It's like fishing: sometimes you get a bite, and sometimes you don't. But if you know what to look for, you've got a better chance of catching something special. Alright, here's the part where you're going to want to grab your magnifying glass, or, just take a good look at your pennies. First, you want to make sure it's from 2020 and that it's from the Denver Mint, which means it'll have the D mint mark. Easy enough, right? Next, look for signs of exceptional condition. What I mean by that is, no scratches, no dings, no discoloration. The coin should be basically flawless, and trust me, these are rare. You also want to check the details, like Abraham Lincoln's profile. A strong, clean strike means it's more likely to fetch a high price. The more minty the penny, the higher the value. Let me tell you, I learned this lesson the hard way. A couple of years ago, I came across a bunch of pennies I thought were worth a fortune. I was sure I hit the jackpot. But after spending hours scouring over them, I realized they were just dirty pennies. Yep, I spent more time cleaning them up than I did on my last vacation. Definitely not worth millions, but hey, I had some shiny pennies for a while, so there's that. But seriously, you'll want to inspect your pennies. The good news is you don't need to be a professional to spot one that's worth something. If you find a 2020 in mint condition, you might be looking at a six-figure or even million-dollar coin, which is insane for something that costs 1 cent. So there you have it, folks. A 2020 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth $1.8 million if you happen to have the right one. Who knew that searching through old pennies could be a goldmine, right? This is why it's important to always check your pocket change, because you just never know when a rare find is sitting right under your nose. But hey, it's not just about luck, it's about being informed and knowing what to look for. And now, you've got the knowledge to start searching your own collection. So, what are you waiting for? Head to that coin jar and start hunting. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and coin strategies to help you find valuable pennies, nickels, dimes, and more. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future episodes where we'll uncover even more hidden gems in your change jar. Who knows? Maybe you'll find the next $1 million coin.